Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to Outlaw Radio, where we talk about everything from wrestling to riding to sports and the challenges everyone faces in life. I am the Outlaw Adam Knight. Hi there, everyone. I'm Outlaw Adam Knight, pro wrestler, self-published author, father, and communicator. Welcome to my little corner of the internet. I am very happy to have you here today, whether it's here on YouTube, over here on TikTok. Eventually, we're going to get it going on multiple different platforms. But right now, as I'm building my studio still and trying to get my new desk and everything going, that's fine. Anyways, today on the show, let's stay focused here. Today on the show, I am going to talk with you about health and fitness, specifically my health and fitness journey in my ongoing War and Dad BOD blog. So buckle up and hang on. I've got a lot of thoughts and a lot of things I want to get through. At the end of the show today, I promise to respond to any comments and thoughts here and there and everywhere else. So if you want to join me live to discuss your own health and fitness journeys, I'll provide a link at the end of the show to call in, and it'll be in the comment sections. But first, what would a weekly episode of Outlaw Radio be without my plugs? I would be honored if you would check out the links in the description down below of this episode, whether you're here live or you're here afterwards in the afterwatch, which is great too. Also, there's a QR code up above my shoulder right now. Going there is the best way for you to support the work I do here, providing insights and thoughts and hopefully some entertainment for you all. There you'll find the links to all of my merchandise, whether you like t-shirts, whether you like logos, which I have here. I've got those available, of course, at prosindies.com or greatwhitenorth.com. Also, if you like reading and you like the stories that I tell, of course, I've got a whole series of books available for you right now. The series is called Overdrive. It's an urban fantasy series. No witches, no warlocks, but a whole bunch of grit, action, adventure. If you like Canadian literature and you like more, it is available in paperback, hardcover, or ebook format. Please go to the links available in the descriptions of this episode and the QR code above in order to take a part and hopefully support your local outlaw. I'd really appreciate that. So, with those plugs out of the way, let's get to the meat of this episode. And I'm going to put these on. I wrote down quite a bit here, so bear with me. I hope you all enjoy. I will be taking the entire transcript and putting it up actually on my blog and available afterwards, probably on my Facebook page notes as well, if that's something you're interested in. So we're going to do that. And that's an odd noise I'd like to get rid of, and I'll deal with that when I get back. All righty. Let's get this show started. Now, the War on Dad blog has been an idea of mine for a number of years now that I've been wanting to focus on for pretty much the most selfish reason possible, to help me personally keep track of the progress I'm making or not making, and to keep myself honest about my physical and nutritional efforts. Frankly, to have something to write and talk about every day on my platforms that I'm interested in and that are hopefully something that others can relate to. As such, my War on Dad blog has evolved over time. From my earliest workout reviews that used to annoy Dalton and Mech over on MySpace, well before the thoughts of even being a dad was in existence. That evolved into workout and fitness articles that I wrote for the now defunct Helium website. I have a few separate Google Blogspot sites that have received middling effort as my schedule and interest waned, but with the most regularity, and even that is iffy, with my separate War and Dad blog Instagram account. Though that mostly remains focused on the meals I've made, the walks I've taken with my dog, and more recently, some cute videos I've shot and edited about my summertime adventures most recently. In any event, I've been wanting to do something like I've seen other creators do online for ages, and that is to create a platform to talk about my personal health and fitness journey, not from the perspective of an expert, which clearly I'm not, or a personal trainer, again, clearly I'm not. But again, as a way to be accountable, to hopefully show some vulnerability and to have some fun. I've wanted to record workouts. I've wanted to show progress. I wanted to make my meals on camera. I have chats with other fitness types like I did a few months ago with my buddy Jordan Sisiwa. But basically, I just want to do some kind of this is my fitness journey, make a series of it and throw it up online for everyone to see, to laugh at, to criticize, and hopefully enjoy. But at the end of the day, I've always bailed out. Sure, the occasional personal record or back day highlight reel notwithstanding, but a consistent series, I couldn't keep up with the effort. And sure, I could blame scheduling, life commitments, and more, but the truest reason I've not done it is, well, I fail. I relapse. I completely fall off the nutritional wagon and return to my natural doughboy roots. These 3XL t-shirts they're a real thing. Now, obviously, I have no excuse. None. It would be different if I was still an ignorant, skinny, fat, 333-pound, 24-year-old kid who is just beginning his wrestling journey and trying desperately to make some headway in that industry. Back then, I was just starting to learn what the benefits of protein had on the body, how important monitoring my macros was, making my mistakes with keto trends, stimulants, and terrible, useless supplements of all kinds. I'm not that kid anymore. I've been in the fitness space for half my life now. I know what the pitfalls are, and I know what needs to be done, or I know what needs to not be done. With that said, having to accept that I simply cannot train as hard or as consistently or for as long as I used to is an ongoing struggle for me. Back in the early 2000s, doing a 2-hour, 2-a-day set of workouts for weeks at a time was relatively no big deal. Factor in wrestling sometimes 3 to 4 times a week, 20 times a month. Man, I had energy seeping out of my pores along with all of the sweat and sodium. While I didn't know it at the time, since body dysmorphia and comparing myself to fitter, more natural, and sometimes unnatural athletes in the wrestling scene skewed my perspective, I can now look back on old footage as I upload them from the vault every Monday and see just how damn fit and athletic I was. I had power, coordination, balance, and flexibility that a guy my size usually doesn't have. Now, given how hard I worked back then, it meant that if I let my nutrition slip a little bit, if I allowed myself a few beers and burgers in my weekly meals, that it usually wasn't that big of a deal. My output was regularly greater than my input on the average. Father Time, however, remains undefeated. Now, as I stare the half-century mark in the eye, I am fully aware that trying to train the way I used to simply isn't possible anymore. Trying to train harder than my nutrition is not possible. And that is a harder pill to swallow than any blood pressure medication I've had to take. Now, that's not to say I'm not making any progress. Even my recently sporadic training sessions and gym workouts, I'm learning that old man strength really is a thing. My base numbers there are more or less the same as they were at my peak fitness, which is a testament to how well I've trained from in the past up to this point. However, I am really noticing that I do not recover as well anymore. The arthritis in my knee is spreading. My shoulder hasn't been right since January, and there are days that I am grateful to just not be yanked off my feet when my loving dog spies a squirrel during our neighborhood walks. Let me be clear. Admitting this out loud while also proclaiming myself to still be the best goddamn heavyweight champion in Canada is humbling. So realizing that I've had to make adjustments to my training has been a challenge. Since I can't train any harder, I have to do more work to prepare. My stretching and warm-ups take almost as long as my lifting does. I try to fit in more stretching in general, dynamic core and body movements. When I do cardio, it's generally gentler. I'll spend more time on cross trainers rather than the high incline treadmill walks. This is a process because no matter what any trust me bro peddler is saying online, there is no magic pill. No influencer peddled peptide or superfood is going to make this better. This is about being consistent and being considerate to yourself, and by putting in the right kind of work so that you can get the right kind of recovery. Which brings me to the hardest truth I have to face. I have to be more disciplined with my diet. I have to. Yes, this is obviously something I've said at least 10,000 times before. And wait for it, I'll likely say it 10,000 more times in the coming years Should I be so lucky? But this week, as I was absentmindedly stuffing some Timbits in a medium ice cap into my pie hole, I was listening to actor Ethan Suplee's conversation with filmmaker Kevin Smith over on his Lifelong podcast. Obviously, they were talking about their mutual friendship and similar weight loss journeys and the struggles they faced in their individual processes. Something I can clearly relate to and something that I feel with every fiber of my fatness. As a part of that conversation, Mr. Smith relayed a parable that I'd never heard before that I will paraphrase now. One day, the Zen monk was walking from his temple to town and he fell into a deep pit. The monk laughed at his foolishness, dusted himself off, and climbed out of the pit. On the second day, the Zen monk was making the same journey and once again fell into the same pit. Less amused this time, the monk dusted himself off, climbed out, and continued on his way. On the third day, the Zen monk was making the same journey and fell into the same pit again. This time, the Zen monk lost his cool, cursed his fate, and cursed to the heavens. After calming himself, the Zen monk realized the truth that he was missing. The deep pit is never going to move. It is up to him to change his path. That has really stuck with me for a few days now. I personally have followed similar patterns in my life for the majority of my life. And we're talking not just with my health and fitness. I'm talking about with careers, creative pursuits, relationships with others, all walks of my life. If I keep running into the same obstacles, I'm the one that needs to change my path. Now, to keep things focused here in my War and Dad bod, the path I need to change is by thinking the way I used to do things is the only way to do things. For a while, I'd seen some success by living with an 80-20 rule, where if I eat well 80% of the time, the other 20% isn't too bad. But considering the number of snacks I regularly find in my kitchen these days, it's safe to say that this has been more of a suggestion than a rule lately. So I'm going to try this again. Hopefully without shame or fear of too much self-flagellation. I know what to eat. And I know what I should try to avoid. I know the substitutions I need to make on top of the ones that I've already made. Coke Zero, for example. I can do this without getting obsessed with weighing every gram of every meal and adding unnecessary stress and anxiety to my mental health. I have the knowledge. I just need to find my discipline. One final admission, and it's a tough one. This is my true addiction. Not drugs, not really alcohol. It's food. So the only way for me to actually win my War and Dad bod is to realize that there is no winning. This war never ends. I will be faced with temptations every day. But without reestablishing a better nutritional foundation for myself, I won't be able to enjoy the treats and snacks that we're all allowed to have, especially when spending times with the people who matter the most. And since that little girl needs her daddy to live a long and healthy life, I'm hoping I actually have the discipline that I need to be here for her. And those are my thoughts about my ongoing war on my dad bod, about my health and nutrition. Thank you for everyone who's shown up here live, either on YouTube or here on TikTok in the comments there. I'll scroll back and see if anybody had anything to say at this moment in time. All right, Avery, you're about to get blocked. That's good. That's good. Nice to see all that stuff. Thank you for everyone for being here. That's very good. If you're here afterwards and you want to be part of the conversation, I really appreciate that. Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you're struggling with. Feel free, if you're willing to share your personal journeys with health, nutrition, and fitness. This is a safe space and a welcoming environment, and I'd love to offer any support, mental, physical, or otherwise, that I could possibly do for you. Also, plugs again, please check out the QR code up above or the links in conversation down below to find out your best ways to support me, either by checking my merchandise on ProWrestlingTees.com, finding my books on Amazon, or darn it all, just leave me a donation, join my Patreon page. The links are all there. So I want to take a time now to thank everyone for being here today and joining this conversation. I'm going to be back next week with another topic or another guest. But until then, keep your head up, keep your eyes on the prize, keep being good to yourself so you can be good to others. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining me here today on OUTLAW Radio.